Anyway, first thing we should probably address. Sorry for the audio issues last week, everybody.
My big bad. Don't be mad at me.
Nothing we can really do about it. One of those mistakes that we'll never make again, hopefully. Knock on metal. Also, this painting fell. This is the second time. I will not be buying a third one. I'll be retiring this.
I'm
figuring something out.
Like literally, was that song? I'm falling to pieces.
I think you got it. Falling. Anyway,
that's such a good song.
What I was thinking, and let me know if this is a good idea, everyone. What I was thinking, what if I think I told you this, put a green screen up there, and then like if we're talking about an album, we could put the cover, or like if we're talking about a video, we can like throw it up there.
You know how you had like these, like just get one of those and put like a green screen on it. You mean? But
yeah,
bigger?
Just like a canvas that has like a green cloth.
Down. And
then I can just edit whatever, and then I can have like a stock image from when we're not talking about anything specific. Yeah,
I think it's pretty smart.
Also, thank you to everyone who showed us an insane amount of love last week.
Was it
700 plays?
700?
Hasn't been a week yet. We hit 500 in a day, which was crazy.
500 in a day.
500 plays in a day.
Jeez.
Thank you to everybody.
Thank you for the love.
Appreciate it. Thank you to Xavier if you're watching. Appreciate you coming on, man.
And my bad for the bad audio. We'll get you when you win the chip, though.
Yeah, we'll bring you back. We'll do take two. You can bring the ring.
You bring the ring.
Yeah, little piece of the net. I need it.
Oh, I'll be sick. Anyway.
Yeah.
Nas.
You want to start there?
Yeah.
You want me to go first, or you want to go first? Because I know I have more to say about it than you do.
Well, so
you can go first.
I listened to Nas's project one time.
Oh, really?
Before we talked this morning.
Okay.
And I was kind of like, eh. And like, I'm a big rap fan. I'm a big Nas fan.
Yeah.
But still, I think only one of Nas' like really good projects. And I know they stack him up.
I mean, yeah. He's got more bad products than he has good projects.
Right?
People hate to say that. But.
So I listened to it. That whatever, the skit of rap, whatever. That song, Hard. All the other ones I felt.
Scat King, I think, or something like that. King of Rap.
But then I was doing some research. So those are like old songs.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't like it. Because I was like, why is he making... what's that Alicia Keys and Jay-Z song? New York?
Yeah.
That era music. I was kind of like, that's... These beats, like the structure.
So you didn't like the beats at first?
I was like, I've already like this is so old.
Yeah.
But then I went back to some research and I realized that I was on purpose. And they were like,
those are like classic jazz songs, bro.
Exactly.
Like classic.
So then I listened again with that ear. And I was like, oh, this is bars. Like he was like stuff he was talking. If he made that back then.
Yeah. So is that what this is? Like, these are old songs? Do you think that's what this was?
Well, that's what I saw. We're asking ourselves. But, like,
true.
According to, like, some Twitter stuff.
I mean, it makes sense. Based on the title,
it looked like it was, like, some old classics that he wanted to perfect.
You're just sitting on these.
So it's kind of like, oh, bro, what? Like, this is when, like, New York came out. That dropped?
And he's just sitting on this. He's just sitting on these tracks.
That would have changed his career, I feel like.
Yeah.
Maybe this was Nas' issue. His timelines when he pushes, but still
like he drops at weird times. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, but he's still here. Like he said, he still has longevity.
Yeah,
Nas rapping on a track will never get old.
True.
You know.
Yeah.
He might have that M curse where like he can't put songs together the best, but like
sometimes.
Some
of the hooks on this project were,
Yeah. But then again, like think about like it probably would have been a little bit harder.
Yeah, it would have been hot, like 2008.
Yeah, 2008. So anyway, you go.
All right,
but I was hating on it though.
Yeah, you told me you didn't like it at first.
Yeah, so anyone who sees it like Vince, he's such a whatever. Yeah. But like, listen,
I feel like it needs a preface. Like, you won't hear any of these songs in the club or probably on the radio. To be honest, this is all like you're driving in the car and you just want to hear some bars.
Exactly.
Granted, that's not really the style anymore. So,
but bring bars back.
Bring bars back. Come on, Nas, we need it.
I'm trying to hear the or like the autotune.
You know what I think Nas's problem is? So I went back. I looked at the producers on this album, and Kanye only touched one song. And my thing about Nas is he doesn't sound good on a Kanye beat. Because they just don't match. Like, Kanye doesn't make New York beats.
You didn't like the project before that? Like
Nasir?
You didn't?
Nah.
What? I really did like it.
I liked if I remember right, I liked the first song, and that was it. Yeah, I think it was like 1 for 8. Not a good shooting percentage.
Yeah.
But so I think for me that helped because Kanye doesn't make, like I said, he doesn't make New York beats, and that's what Nas sounds best on is a New York jazz boom bap beat. Yeah. And so this thing was just littered, bro. So the reason why I wanted to talk to you about it was because last year in school I took a jazz history class. Oh wow. Because I wanted to know, like, I just love jazz, so I wanted to know about it. And literally, bro, like 4 out of 5 of these tracks were stuff that we talked about in class, like how legendary these songs are. Yeah. And so when I was hearing it and like hearing the boom bap over it, and then hearing his flow and his delivery, it
was a whole different experience. You're like,
oh, I was like, this is what I needed to hear, like, cause so much of what I love about rap is jazz, right? Like, I think that's why I love To Pimp a Butterfly so much, is because those are all like jazz beats.
Hard.
And then on top of Kendrick's performance, right?
Hard.
But so hearing I wrote a lot of notes about this album.
Oh wow.
So the big song, which is like the scat, what is it called? The Ja Rule of rap. That's the one that we were talking about. So did you listen to that reference track? Did you go back and listen to it?
No, I didn't.
Like what it was? Okay, so that's a song called Round and Round, and it's the flow that Nas used was the flow that the guy used, Ja Rule. There's Al Ja Rule, I think his name is. Yeah. And the whole beat, like the whole piano, like then. So he uses that, but he's like obviously talking about completely different things. Yeah. And it's more of like scat. Like that's a style. That's kind of where rap came from, is like scat over jazz beats. Yeah. It used to just be like then, like not even words. Yeah. And so Nas just took it, put words to it, and just unveiling
that to me, he's like showing me like, yo, that's actually really hard to do.
Dude, like,
when I heard the flow,
I don't think people understand how hard it is to rap like that. Like, oh man, it's so quick, and you gotta be like, you can't stumble, man.
I mean, that's why he's one of the best.
Literally,
like
Nas has. So I mean, we just said it a minute ago, but in my opinion, Nas has more bad albums than he has good albums. Yeah, which is unfortunate. But every now and then, he comes along for me with a song that just reminds me why he's one of the GOATs, and that I can't ever take him out. Yeah, like he's got this song on, I don't remember what album, whatever album it is with like the green dress, I forget, but he's got this song called Rewind on there, where he talks about a drive-by, but in reverse, literally telling the story in rewind, bro. Yeah. And oh my god, bro, like just hearing stuff like that is like, that's another level of rap, you know. It's like I said, none of these songs you're gonna hear on the radio or the club, but it's like technically like. Yeah. The skill that it requires to make these songs is just crazy. I wonder if, and I was thinking about this on the ride back from Lansing today, and there's nowhere like they're both not this legendary, but I was like, you know how Jay and Nas had a little beef for a few years. One of the best diss tracks ever came out of that one.
And Jay-Z obviously won. And I was thinking about Drake and Meek. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying Meek is lyrical or legendary as Nas. Yeah. But was Jay-Z's imprint so impactful that like it only like not only like put Nas' career on pause for a little bit, but also kind of put maybe Nas like a little bit like
took him out of the tier, like
because like I listen to his music and it feels like he's not like, some songs he's going all in and sometimes he's just like I don't know where he draws inspiration from. I don't know where like sometimes your first stuff is like your best stuff. Yeah. Like, I don't really know if it was one of those conversations or it was like, Jay just kept giving you the hands and not even scared someone raises.
Like a confidence thing?
Yeah, like a confidence. Like, like hurt his confidence. Because, like, even with Meek, right? Because before like Drake, Meek was one of my favorite rappers anyway. But, like, his last project, I messed with it. No, wait. I messed with it.
Hang on.
Meek's last project was hard.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Right? But do you think it was as hard as his other stuff or harder? Honestly. Did you feel it was like,
like you're talking about
where's
like
my dreams
the Dream Chasers?
Where's my dreams and nightmares? Sorry guys, I got too close to again. Where's my dreams and nightmares?
To be fair, I don't think he'll ever top that, right? But we'll go with Drake. Like, will Drake ever top Headlines?
What? I think he has.
Really? You don't think he has? I mean, just personally speaking, that's a top 5 song for me ever. Headlines. That's like, bro. I love that song, man.
You know,
that beat, his flow, man. That song. Anyway. To what you were saying, I think
it's different, obviously, but like, do you think that effect when a bigger artist wins the battle does not lose a battle? Right?
Like, what are you trying to say?
When a bigger artist, like, when someone picks a battle with a bigger artist, a lot of times nothing happens. It's just like talk. Right. Sometimes it does happen, and then like the little artist
comes out of it.
The little artist can like overthrow the big artist. Rare though.
I'm trying to think in my head of a time where the smaller artist won though. You know, like Drake beat Meek, even though in my opinion, if Meek would have replied, he would have won. But that's besides the point.
I think he would have won too.
Drake won. I think beat MGK last year.
Is that really?
It was close though. It was close. Yeah, I think it's a beef. No. I mean, nothing happened.
No.
Like, there was, like, no one got hurt. You know what I mean? It was rap beef. It was rap beef.
So this is where I'm like, okay. So do you think MGK got more... Do you think that hurt MGK's career?
No, not at all.
Think it helped?
Not at all. Yeah, 100%. Well, yeah. No, I mean... Well, helped. I don't know if helped. I mean, I would say that it didn't hurt. I'd have to look at
I don't know how he's still famous.
The thing is, I don't check MGK like that.
Yeah, I don't listen to any of his music.
I don't know if he's bigger now than he was. I just know that was a big, like, that song has like 200 million plays. Like, that was a moment for him.
Yeah.
Right? And he had, like, does have hits.
200 million plays?
Yeah.
Shout out to M.
Yeah, M put that man on. But to be fair, it had 100 million before M even replied. So, like, it was already popping before he replied.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, it had Eminem in the title. He was talking about Eminem. You know what I mean?
So he used Eminem to get views.
Yeah. Like, even if M never replied, like, it still was a big song.
Yeah.
You know?
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know. But that's the thing is, like, I don't check for MGK.
Who do you think won between Drake and Pusha T?
No question, Pusha T.
So, and, like,
no question.
Don't get mad at me. Not saying he's a small artist, but he is.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the time where, like, and Drake kind of like, you know.
Do you think Drake won?
No.
Okay, I was just confused by the way you asked that. Okay.
No, when Drake dropped W Freestyle, I was like, okay.
Oh, I thought he was going to win. I did.
I was like, Pusha T's going to, like, what he's going to rap about.
Yeah.
Right?
Unfortunately, Pusha has had too much info. We can't win. You know what I mean?
Pusha is one of those dudes.
You don't pick a fight with him. I think we talked about this before, but I don't think Drake wanted smoke with Pusha T. I think he wanted Ye. You know, I think he wanted Kanye, but he just threw too much at Pusha T, and so
I remember listening to a Pusha T interview, and he was just saying like, "Yo, check it, Drake, I'm the one that came at you. Ye has nothing to do with this." But Drake felt bad or felt a type of way because Kanye didn't stop Pusha T. Mm-hmm. But Kanye's like, who's gonna stop Pusha T?
Yeah, he's a grown ass man. He's
the
president of the label.
He's the president of the label and his other ties. Like, who's gonna stop Pusha T? You gonna stop Pusha T? No. So I think it's one of those kind of things. But I think it's rare when a small artist can dethrone the bigger artist.
Okay, yeah, I literally just asked, has a smaller artist ever beat a bigger artist? That's
probably
Pusha T did.
And I'm trying to go.
I can't believe I forgot that.
I'm trying to go in my rap. I don't think so.
I'm sure we're forgetting someone, but I just off top, I can't remember a time.
Yeah, who?
Yeah,
I think the big artists almost Tory Lanez
for the most part.
The other guy,
Joyner.
Yeah. Who won those?
Tory, because when I go back, I think they both dropped 2 tracks.
Yeah,
and Tory's 2 were crazy, and
Joyner
Joyner had one good one that probably was the best.
Yeah.
But his second one was trash. So 2-1, you're gonna lose. You know.
Yeah.
Especially it's bad if you're in a diss battle and you drop a bad track. Yeah, it's then you're gonna get flamed.
You really can't drop.
It's better if you don't reply.
You really can't drop a bad track.
Yeah.
I wonder if Drake still plays going back to back. I wonder if he still
back to back. Probably.
Well, that's
yeah. I mean, because it was still a moment. You know, it's still a moment in hip hop.
That's one of his biggest songs.
And it was a pop song. That's what's crazy.
Song.
He turned
a diss song
into a pop song. He charted with a diss.
Is that your girl?
Chill out, man. Chill out.
Anyway,
did you know Meek's my favorite rapper? Have we ever talked about that?
Yo, I think
he's my favorite rapper.
I think he's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
If not, I'm in my heart, I'm trying to
That's why I got so offended when you started talking about championships.
No, I really did like it, but
was that on one of your top albums of last year?
Yeah.
Or no? It was?
It was.
Okay.
Just I love Meek. Listen, like you can play Dreams and Nightmares right now,
especially
bar for bar.
Post jail Meek.
Yes. And for all those
more educated one.
I remember when he was dropping the mixtapes like Dream Chasers. I just love Meek as like a brand and like what he talks about and like what he embodies like as an artist. He makes good music. So I like, for me, it's like he's one of my favorites of all time. Yeah. And like, to be honest, like
all time. Whoa.
Yeah, one of my personal favorites of all time. Not saying like he's one of your personal favorites of all time. You think he's your favorite rapper?
Yeah, no, I think he is all time. He's got enough projects.
Oh no, one of my favorites. Not comparing him to like all time greatness is different.
No, yeah. There's a difference between favorites and greatness.
He might, if he drops, if he gets another Rico, another song Drake on it. If he gets another Rico and another like Dreams and Nightmare situation, I think he'll put.
He could. I mean, he's young enough. He could. Yeah, definitely. But. I mean, I think going back to what you said, like, is his new music isn't better, like, in terms of sonically, because like his mixtapes were just wild, like, the Dream Chasers mixtapes, man, those things were all perfect, right? But now he's talking about different things, so I feel like I've grown up with him. To be honest, he's a lot older than us. Yeah. But like he dealt with the jail situation, and he comes out more educated and pushing for different things, like talking about being a father and trying to have wealth and all that.
Who's the rapper that was around him, that young kid?
Little Snoop. Rest in peace. Yo. Young GOAT potential, man.
I remember, this is how big of a fan I was of Meek Mill. I remember like watching, have you seen the Little Snoop battle rap with the other guy? With T.I.
What was his Metro, maybe?
Was that his name?
Maybe. I mean, he's so...
Whatever. So
he got body so bad, we don't even know the name.
It was all these rappers.
Mike Vick was in there.
And they're like, all right, bar for bar. And the Snoop was going off the dome, and this dude was rapping songs.
He got bodied.
Bro, when I heard Lil Snoop rap, I'm like, yo... I remember seeing that in the time and be like, yo, Lil Snoop's gonna be the greatest rapper of all time.
And then he dropped the other freestyle.
Yep.
Remember them in the studio? Yep. I think it was like part 4 or whatever. Bro. Crazy. That's like 15 minutes of straight bars.
It's like, what?
And then he did like another freestyle, and then he dropped Mellow, which is probably one of his best songs.
Yeah.
That song was crazy. And then he had the verse on the outro for DC4.
Yeah.
And I heard that, and I was like, oh, man. Like, he was just sitting on that verse.
Bro. Hard.
Man, I feel so bad. So much potential, man.
And then all this violence in rap is just like, I feel like they got to switch the culture. Like, personally, just as like a brother, right? Like, I hate seeing young
black dudes killing black dudes. Like, that's what it is.
Especially over stuff that's like, like
really, over the street you were born on, like
for real, that you don't even own. There's some dude Tom who doesn't live there owns, right? It's just kind of like your value system isn't like weird stuff.
It's crazy.
Like, I've been seeing a lot of stuff like TK. You seen that stuff?
Yeah, he's probably gonna get locked up for life, man.
Well, this is what I was weird about, right? Now I don't know if it was right, but I saw like the news clip. It was like 5 to 99 years.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I was like, okay, that's so weird.
I was like, what type of range is that? Yo?
He was like, so he can get out in 7?
Can you imagine if you're banking on 5 and it's like 98?
Yeah, like that's where I was kind of weird. I was like, yo,
I hope he got a good lawyer.
Yeah.
I saw that too, and I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
I'm assuming 5 will be for snitching, and then 99 is if he doesn't.
I mean, he snitched on himself. Like he did it, didn't he?
Yeah, but I think it was like 2 people.
Yeah, he killed 2 people.
I don't know. Truth be told, I don't really pay attention once people get into jail.
So you're not excited for Bobby Shmurda to come back out?
I mean, like of course I'm excited, bro. Yeah.
So you gave him A$AP Rocky?
I don't. It's funny. I wrote that down for us to talk about.
Shout out to Trump. Like,
there's like certain things, but it's like TK especially. He had one track. Like if you really want me to like, oh yeah. The Race is a banger. But I'm not gonna keep like super up to date.
Okay, what about X? You think he's a little overhyped, or you think that he deserves the what he's getting?
What in terms of like the slander that now that he's gone? What do you mean?
Well, the positivity and the slander, I guess. But
in my opinion, X could have been a superstar. Yeah, I think he was on the road to becoming a superstar. He technically
only really had one song too.
I disagree.
It's different for you. Okay.
The album question mark. I think that's what it was called. I know the artwork is a question mark. Whatever he dropped before he passed.
That was really good.
That thing had like 10 legitimate bangers on it. And the track for people that haven't listened, the track with Joey Badass. I don't know if you've heard or if you remember, bro. Some of the best like flow and delivery I've heard in a long time.
X, you know, shout. I keep saying shout out. My friend Nick, introduced me to X, and it was like when they were on SoundCloud still.
Yeah.
And like Nick's gonna laugh at this. Nick was trying to get me on X for like at least 6 months, bro. And I was like, nah, he's not popping, bro. Like this is like, who wants to hear some
emo ass? Like, he was like the first one, to be like an emo rapper.
And then I remember like it was a sunny day. I pulled up to the store. Nick was with me, and he played it. He played.
You remember what song?
Is the most famous one. What's that one called?
Look at Me.
Look at Me.
Yeah. So that one's crazy, dude.
So like he didn't play me Look at Me at all. He was playing all his other stuff.
Like before that?
Before that.
Okay.
So I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah, that's like a whole different style than what he normally does.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was crazy that he dropped that.
And he dropped that. So then he played Look at Me.
Look at Me's hard, bro.
And I was like, who is this? He's like, X, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, sold.
Dude, it was crazy. So like you hear that, you hear Look at Me, and then you hear like Jocelyn Flores, and it's like, whoa, this dude's so versatile, and he can sing a little bit.
He can sing, has hooks.
That's what I mean. Like I think he was probably gonna be a superstar.
Yeah, and and then even after he died, they were releasing so much music. Yeah. It's like he was ready.
A lot of unfinished songs that were still good, even though they were unfinished.
So like,
and I think unfortunately, he came into the game when he was young, and that made him make a lot of mistakes. Yeah, like the whole acting like you wanted Drake's mom and all that stuff. Like that's not a good look. You don't want stuff like that. Yeah. Even though Drake did steal his flow.
He really did. Yeah. I don't care what Drake is saying.
But at the end of the day, like if that happens to you, you reach out for a collab. You know what I mean? You get in contact with Drake's people, like, yo, let's do a song.
You know, and it all goes down to storytelling and marketing too, right? Like I think
I'm sure he did ask for a feature or something.
Yeah, or like he just took like Drake's not my fault. Like he just took that to run marketing. With it. But once that's like, look at like why like Melly, right? Like it's crazy because like he dropped that song, like Murder in My Mind before his friends are dead. Yeah. Like he going on social media and everyone's like, oh, this man.
He wrote the song about killing him,
and they're like, no, like, but like, listen, when you like develop that and he's doing on interviews like he has two personalities, like you get branded a certain way. Like people are gonna take that seriously and believe it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
People
like,
are super gullible, dog,
and like they'll just run with it. So I feel like for X, you know, why he kind of got in that situation, RIP, was like he branded himself to be this certain person. Yeah. Now I don't know why they did it, but like.
And I guess it works, to be honest.
Right? Like, if you
he did blow up.
Right? You kind of attract that kind of stuff into you, right? Yeah. Like, that's why I love what Chance does, because he's just all, like, almost super like too positive, almost. Yeah. Shout out. I'm ready for his album, July 26th.
This is week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. I was looking at...
Chance is probably my favorite rapper of all time.
For real?
I just think I confirmed it.
Whoa.
I think it could just be a blanket statement because I'm feeling it right now. Wow. But like 10 Day and Acid Rap did something for me, especially like.
Yeah. So then, but how do you feel about Coloring Book?
I love Coloring Book.
You didn't feel like there was a dip?
No, I didn't think there was a dip at all. Like, cause he's been like, I think he's been super consistent and always like 10 Day from Acid. He was like talking about all this stuff. Like, yeah. It's like what Tyler did. Like you grow up with Chance. I do think though, like he pushed. I think it's right because, all right, let me give you my perspective.
Go for it.
From my lens, it's like he could have made another Acid Rap. Like a lot of artists, so like a lot of artists do this thing where they try to make another one of their first thing, right? And like, well, we have these hits, let's try to make another version of it and kind of keep playing the same joke over and over again. Yeah. I feel like if you want to be great, you have to like push new sounds, but not have it be like not too much betting, like kind of what the guy who made Old Town Road did. Like he had like a project, but like all different sounds, so the album didn't really sound like it flowed. Right. Because
that's a good point.
But he had good songs on there. But he had a rock song, or country, whatever. Yeah. Rap songs. It's like cool, you're versatile, but like it didn't really.
You didn't do it the right way.
You didn't do it the right way. Saying. So for Chance to do that, from 10 Day, which is this rappity rap, to Acid Rap, was like drug, emo, sad rap. To Coloring Book was like super positive, dad, love God rap. Yeah. What is this one going to be about?
Like, probably about, you know? I guess probably more of the same, right?
Maybe about fatherhood. Yeah. I'm feeling I'm feeling he's gonna have rapping rap. I think he's gonna have some rap.
Yeah, I'm assuming based on the single he did with Cordae that it's probably gonna be rapping rap.
But wasn't that Corday's song that he
featured
on?
Yeah, it is. But he hasn't dropped any singles.
He hasn't dropped any singles.
Which is why I feel like that was the single. Yeah. You know?
And I love
he probably looked for somebody with a style that he was trying to do. So like Corday's super lyrical. And so that's probably what he's going for. That's just my assumption.
And I feel like, and it's also a crazy statement, but I believe it to be true. I think Chance is the next Jay-Z.
In the rap game? Or just like business mogul and all that too?
The whole thing, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Bold claim.
I mean,
there's only one.
Have you pulled back the curtain a little bit?
The only thing I know that Chance does is like the inner city Chicago stuff.
Social Works.
Yeah.
Social Experiment. He owns.
Does he do business and stuff?
He owns a media company.
Okay. I know he's not signed.
He's not signed. He's independent.
He tells you.
He does tell you. Still rakes in dough. Like, you saw how he released his, like, all his it just works.
Yeah.
So I feel like
he's got a knack for it.
He has a knack for like for sure. the way, or his team, whoever's like behind him, like the team figured it out. Like Jay did the same thing with Rock Nation and all of them. They figured out how to navigate this rap thing. And I feel like for him being an independent artist, he's gonna go down. Like, he's the next Jay. Like
maybe. I just think. I think it's all about the way you go about it, right? Yeah. Like
independent. There's a difference between won a Grammy. Like no one's ever done that.
I just think there's a difference between, to give like a shoe example, like what Jordan did, the brand he built versus like what LeBron built, right?
Yeah.
Like Jordan kind of made his own brand, although he's under Nike.
Yeah.
Whereas like Jordan or LeBron, although very successful, he's still under Nike, right? And he still got the swoosh, right?
Exactly.
So, and I think someone like Jay, where what he did was just take everything into his own hands.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could really replicate that, like. Because that means Chance has to, like, is he with Nike? Is that who he drops with? Or is it Adidas?
Who, Chance?
Yeah. Doesn't he do shoes?
He doesn't do shoes.
Didn't he airdrop at, like, Coachella? Weren't we talking about
this? No, that's Childish Gambino.
You're right. Okay. So, what I'm saying is that, like,
in order... He's also smooth. That's dope. Childish Gambino is dope.
Yeah, I mean, he's a brand. He's a brand by himself.
He's Jamie Foxx times two.
I agree.
Because Jamie Foxx makes music. He acts. He produces. He does all that stuff.
Stand-up comedian. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so like.
But what I'm saying about like Jay-Z though is he took everything into his own hands.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if someone, I feel like that's just like a one of one. Like no one's really gonna be able to do that. I know Kevin Hart is doing it.
I think Chance is doing it, bro.
You think he'll do that?
Yeah, I think he's doing it.
He definitely could. I'm not saying that he couldn't.
But like, think about like so.
I just think it takes a certain like trait.
I think he has it.
You think he has it? I mean, he's from the right city, that's for sure. Chicago breeds those type of people.
And the reason why I'm saying it, just because, like, and I'm like a business freak. So I watch his movies. Like, I see what he does on social media. Like, all his success is not by accident. Like, it's on purpose, just like how Jay did it on purpose. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't really measure, like, how big it's going to be. Mm-hmm. But, like, think about from 10 Day to, like, to Acid Rap to Coloring Book, how big Chance is, like,
in just that small time.
And he's not signed.
And he blew up before Coloring Book.
He's really hot, So like for me, like, and he's making money selling merch. He said he made $3 million selling a 3 hat. Wasn't it
for real?
Yeah, like that's Rockaway.
Wow.
Like he's making bank.
Yeah,
he was on Forbes list. He made like 30 mil like 2-3 years ago.
And he doesn't have a label, so all the touring money's probably his. Him. Yeah, I guess. And
then, like, the stuff he dropped on Apple Music, which obviously he's getting income for, you listen to on Apple Music, like, all the proceeds are going to his nonprofit. Like, he's doing things, like, not saying he's doing exactly the same thing as Jay-Z, but, like, the idea of, like...
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Like, he's, like, you can't do what Jay-Z did.
Yeah, because you can't run nonprofits if you're trying to be Jay. Because Jay is for profit.
For profit, right?
I'm sure he does, like, some things. Right. I know he gives back.
Yeah. I'm forgetting what media company Chance bought, but it's like a big one. Like,
oh really?
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing that. It was like probably 2 years ago at this point, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'm tripping.
Just like saying, but like
I just think like when I think of Chance, and I'm glad you cleared that up. But when I think of Chance, I think of like helping out the community and volunteering and stuff. But I get what you mean. Like he's running nonprofits, and that is
And that goes back to your brand. Like he's from Chicago. No, easy for Chance to brand himself as like this hard dude.
He's like
a
dope,
hustler and
trendsetter,
like, right? And like he talks about positivity and like and look at Vic, look at all these people around him like who are like not doing it. But like like.
Well, I mean that goes. So I was watching this stand-up comedian. You ever heard of Jack Knight?
No. He's
one of the guys on Big Mouth. If you watch that TV show,
I love Big Mouth.
The show's hilarious.
I think I know who Jack Knight is now.
He plays
Big Mouth is hilarious.
I don't remember who he plays.
They nailed that show.
Dude, that show's so funny, dude. He plays one of the guys. He's a stand-up comedian. Yeah. And he has a joke, kind of, like a whole bit about Chance. And he says that he kind of grew up too fast. Like he went from acid rap to coloring book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the material changed like so drastically over the course of a few years.
It's hilarious.
And I kind of feel that. Yeah. But at the same time, I enjoyed the transition.
True.
But I could see how people didn't. And I mean, that album wasn't perfectly received. There was a lot of people that didn't like it.
A lot of people didn't like it.
Because they thought it was corny or whatever.
Yeah, but it's his reality. Like, he has a family.
And he just grew up fast. That's just the nature of what it is. Like.
But I do get why, because he dropped acid rap. And, like, so, like, you're not expecting...
You know, I mean, and then he went, right, and then he went like Christian,
project,
like, yeah,
right. But like for me, it's like that's not even he talks about God all through acid rap too. But like it's not as like blatant like these Christian songs samples. He has with that one song, "How Great," right? He has a 3-minute.
That's literally what you hear in church,
right?
Like,
so I feel like a lot of people were like, but then maybe he made the song for people who grew up in church like myself, right? Where it's kind of like, yo, is he rapping off church music right now? Because listen, I used to do that.
It's impressive, dog.
When people were screaming, like I used to like,
freestyle into the back,
right? So I think he low-key did it for the people. Like, yo, this is for the people who rap.
I mean, bro, like if we're being honest, so much of rap music and probably music in general is all about what you relate to.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And
like at the end of the day, like if you don't relate to something, you probably won't like it. Yeah. And that's just, to be honest, in general.
Exactly.
You know, like not even music. So, you know, the people that didn't like coloring book probably just didn't like.
Well, let's actually talk about that for a second, because there's a lot of things that people like that they don't relate to.
That's true.
There's a lot of music that we
my experience with To Pimp a Butterfly was like that, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't relate to anything that he's talking about in Compton, right? But I love the album.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's like once you realize that you don't relate to something, you know, like I think the reason why I appreciate rap music so much is because so much of it. And battle rap too. Battle rap's big in this way for me. Is like so much of it is like just me putting myself in their shoes, right? So I think that's why like I have such an appreciation for battle rap and like pretty street music.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm putting myself in their shoes, and like especially the rappers, like shout out Sue Surf. He's one of my favorites right now. He's like one of those guys that can like paint a picture really well.
Yeah. And
so like I feel like I'm going through what he's going through.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like a learning experience for me.
And I think just the way rap's been branded and marketed too, like I feel like it's really hard for people to buy into positivity and rap music.
Yeah, that's true.
It is corny. Like
it can be. I guess probably in general it is.
Most of the time, because people when they think about rap, which is funny, even like rock and roll had the same thing. Like it was just like this is for like the badasses, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, rock had that too,
right? So it's like it's the same kind of thing that kind of and then whatever
that pretty much always happens, doesn't it? That's happens. A trend in music.
Yeah,
whatever the new genre is like the kids listen to it, and it's all like bad, rebel like, music or whatever.
Like Elvis was like, what he's doing, shaking his hips, like all these things.
That's a really good. I've never thought about it like that. That's a good point.
So it is very interesting that like
damn.
Because even when I think about like, I think Chance is the only like rapper that I'm actually really down for like super optimistic and super positivity in his music, because I think he does it right. Like I don't think I could hear like anything else and really
imagine if Chief Keef came out with some positivity.
No,
probably. You'd be like, what?
Yeah, dude? Probably like Chief. I don't know. I think he has tried something like Chief.
Probably.
We want
give me Lil Sosa back, dog.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Lil Sosa.
Man, we should talk. Should we talk about his downfall?
I
do love Chief Keef.
He's the one that grew up too fast and fell off.
You think so? I almost wondered if he didn't grow up enough.
Really?
Or I mean, it could have just been like he got all his money and he didn't care. Like you know.
You mean he birthed?
He was a millionaire by 17, easily. He had a track with 50 Cent on his debut album.
Bro.
Like, you don't do that unless you're the man.
Yeah.
And you're from Chicago, so you already got people pushing you. And you were the leader of a whole type of music.
Yeah, I remember following him on the old Instagram. Remember the old Instagram? With
Chief Keefs? Yeah,
the old Instagram, how it used to be.
He used to be in the street with guns.
I actually remember this picture, like, him in his house with, like, all these, like, white girls. Like, where do you live? But I didn't connect. I was, like, too young to connect. Like, yo, he has a big...
Chicago was wilding back then.
Yeah, because, like, so you rap him all this stuff, but you don't live it. But then I saw, like, Vice was doing all those, like, documentaries on YouTube. You know? Oh, yeah.
Yo, Vice got good content, bro.
They do.
They do. Is that the people that do the Therapist series? You ever watch that?
No, I saw the commercials for it. I haven't watched them, though.
Yeah. They do some good content.
I didn't know. Actually, I lied. I did watch the Chief Keef one.
With the Therapist?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Stuff like that. I love watching stuff like that.
Yeah. It's reality. He's trying to show you, like...
He's, like, psychoanalyzing Chief Keef? Like, whoa. That's a deep conversation.
I mean, like...
He started rambling off the names of people he lost.
Yeah. It's
like a 5-minute segment. I was like, damn, man. Like... And I thought, like, I mean, that part right there was eye-opening to me. A little side note, because, like, people are so quick to criticize rappers, like Chief Keef, because they do all these heavy drugs.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you lose enough people in your life, and that's all you want to do. Like, you're scared to go outside.
These kids live in a war zone.
Yeah. And you're getting on them for taking drugs. Like,
yeah, like, you don't, like...
I bet you would, too.
Right?
It's the only way to get your mind off stuff like that.
And I think it's hilarious to me. They have so much influence that kids who don't have that life are influenced, and they take their little struggles.
Yeah.
And
like they get bullied at school or something.
Yeah, and they take it and they use the thing. And not saying that's a bad thing, but it's just like try to educate. Like like when by the time Chief Keef was 14, he lost like 10 of his friends. Like that's like imagine losing
even like brothers, cousins, right? Like it's family too.
Imagine losing like me or one of your boys, right? Yeah. To like gun violence.
10. Yeah.
Like every summer, someone's dead, not there anymore. And it's not even.
And then the thing that's like the show,
gunshots, like
the show or the movie Beats. Have you watched that yet?
No, I haven't.
I haven't watched it yet with Anthony Anderson, but like the trailer and stuff, and like what that kind of touches on, which is why I really want to watch it. Yeah. It touches on like you have to protect yourself because of what goes on in the neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
And then let's say you lose one of your friends.
Yeah.
You need to protect yourself more, and then you're mad, you're emotional, so you're probably gonna end up taking one of the people that took your friend's life, right?
Exactly.
And then it's just this never-ending cycle. Boom. And that's why it was just crazy, man.
And you're in the war, like, I go to Chicago. And it's like, I see it, and I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I think about it all the time. There's nice. Probably no street. There's probably no street in Grand Rapids that I'm afraid to walk on,
None.
Right?
None.
But I'll be open and honest. There's streets in Chicago I would never walk down. Straight up. Straight up.
And we don't. I'm not trying to like negate that there's not bad stuff. You know, there's
but it's like,
there's people over Grand Rapids are doing crazy stuff too. But like scariness and just being like, wait a minute, like out of your element, outside of your environment, that's real. Like,
yeah.
And I remember driving through South Side of Chicago, we didn't stop because it's more of like, and maybe the people were just trying to mess with me, but it's just like I can look like someone too easily. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's I'm
that's
good,
true.
bro.
That's true.
I'm not gonna get shot in the head when I'm in Chicago to try to hang out. You feel me? Let me stand on the other sides. So I see why bring back the chance. I see why he's doing that because he's like that's his reality. Like 500 kids die in the summer. You think he's gonna go out and rap about pulling up to people's houses and running in and shooting
especially people? When you're the guy,
and he can change it.
Yeah.
So I think that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, you think we'll ever see peace in the streets in our lifetime? Obviously, it'll probably never be complete, right? But like stuff like Chicago, you think that'll be like for the most part eradicated in our lifetime?
Well, I have a little theory I can share.
Go ahead.
Welcome
to Vincent's Philosophy, episode 1.
And not just mine. This is what is the aggregate of people that have been in my life. I keep having these discussions because I'm solution based, and it's like when I get to where I want to get to in life, like. And even through the process, I want to make sure I'm doing the right things. And I'm doing things I care about morally, sustainably, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But like, really trying to figure in solutions to this. Because a lot of people have, the pain medication, but they're not giving people the cure. So, the difference between a scarcity mindset and abundance mindset. And this is like, not even really a color thing, but it happens to be a color thing because the systematicness of racism in America, blah, blah, blah. But I think it can change in our lifetime. But what we have to do with people in underserved communities in America, they have to have an identity first. So I feel like the first step is giving these kids an identity. Like, letting them know, well, they're in foster care, if they're adopted, if their mom's not around, if their dad's not around, if they live with their whatever. Like, listen, like, you are worthy. This is your identity. This is who you are. Like, this is just your circumstance that doesn't make who you are, right? Your circumstances don't make you, right? You're adapting your circumstances, and I think that's the issue, right? Is that, like, you just adapt to your circumstance. Like, you live in a successful neighborhood, area around people, you're more likely to be successful. If you don't, you're the black sheep. So imagine like everyone around you is a gangbanger, whatever. You being something different is weird. It's the same effect in both things. I think it's gonna take people like us spending a lot of time with the youth. To be honest, I'm not saying no one's a lost cause, but once you're like 17, 18 years old, like, you kind of already made your mind up. Like, not saying we can't help you.
For the most part,
we do help you, but the biggest focus is like getting into these communities on both ends, by the way, and like giving kids value, showing that they're worth. Second step, I feel like, is, you know, having systems in place to take kids outside of, like, especially urban kids, especially kids, like, you have to be so great to be good. And like a lot of these kids, I feel like, have this mindset of like the league or rapping. Or,
rapper go to the league,
right?
2 Chainz talks about that.
So it's kind of like all these. How many people we know that want to be a rapper? How many people we know that are too old but still trying to go to the league? And it's like, listen, I'm not trying to defeat your goals or your dreams or anything, but like, you have to change it. But the thing is, when they buy into that because they were sold, right? They're sold on being so great on a scale that's like super hard, right? Like, I feel like, and I don't even want to say white, but kids from like from suburbia, it's easier for them to like be average and be like good. Right? Like, it's not hard for a kid that did well in school to go to college and then like get a decent job in something and live a good life. I don't think kids in the urban community think that way, or sold on that, or have things that are like, you know, around them that kind of make them believe it, right? Like, you almost have to kind of brainwash these kids that their situation is normal and they're full of abundance. You're not lacking anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't tell these kids they're broke. Don't tell these kids they're in a crappy situation. Like, only empower these kids to be better and be great. Always. You have to kind of like, and like tell them that's their advantage. Like, listen, like, you're not eating every single day is your advantage. You want to eat every single day? Yeah. Well, then work harder, eat every single day, right? Like, turn it around. And I know like a lot of people don't want to hear it, but I feel like that's part of the solution.
It's true. I mean,
so I'm not gonna name any names, but there's companies, non-for-profits in Grand Rapids that focus on homeless and whatever. And I was with my buddy Tom. He did a documentary about it, and we just kind of went through the numbers and how it's set up. Like, you know, it's $2 a meal. It's $2 a meal for a homeless person to eat every single day through these systems, these not-for-profits.
Really?
Yeah, food that they get donated for free. They go back and they're gonna go charge the homeless people $2 to eat.
Wait, it's not free for them?
It's not free for them.
Wow.
So so like this goes back.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
So this is when we start getting to the systemization of things.
Yeah.
And like not the Band-Aid, like separating the forest from the trees.
And that runs on volunteers too.
Right?
Which is crazy.
So and even like he was telling me a story about how they did like this like winter coat giveaway, and literally they were charging $10 for these winter coats. So, but what happened is like all these, you know, these kids hear about it and they're handing out like North Faces, like cards. Yeah. They're handing out nice coats that like they got donated. These kids pull up and are buying hella coats for $10 to go flip them and make money off them. Right? So we started doing the system. We broke it down. So it ended up being a homeless person in Grand Rapids needs to make at least $2,000 a year just to eat.
That's crazy.
To eat 3 meals a day.
That's crazy. So
we did the math of how many people they service in Grand Rapids, and it ended up being like $10 million in income they get a year just from homeless people.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
Right? So
and it's all buried because it's not for profit.
Right. And so
that's wild.
So like for me, it's like there's a lot of things that need to happen, right? So we got to give.
So you're saying like the focus should shift from wherever the focus is now to like servicing the youth and like opening up community centers.
Yeah. Well, they've been doing community centers, right? It's like,
yeah, but I mean like real ones.
Like we have to like, if we're gonna have a system, right? Like you're saying, like a community system, like we have to really go in and do it right. Like if you're in a low income, you should have the best school. Not
ideally, I mean, yeah. But I don't think it'll ever be like that though. I think
we can say. I think it can be. It just literally it's all decision making. From left to right, we make these rules about that we can't have both or we can't do something. In my opinion, it's like, well, you just made a decision. Your decision to go down this route versus the other route, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's easy system wise or through politics is to change the way schools are funded. It's not that hard. You know what I'm saying? Mm. But they don't do it. So, yeah. But then, But doesn't that come down to, like, the people who really pay the politicians' bills are these heavy taxpayers, which is the wealthy? And so, like, they get the best schools because, Yeah. Yeah. That's so, but that's what I mean by, like, I don't think it'll ever be like that because I think we can switch it. The highest income will always want to go to the best schools. So to me, like if you open up the best school hypothetically in a low income area, it's just gonna shift. Like over time, the wealthy will buy that area and it'll become high income. And then over time, obviously this is over a large span of time, but over time, the low income would go to where the high income used to live. And that's just gentrification. So that's what's been happening. Yeah. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think you can avoid that. Well, we have to change the way things are funded, the way things are worked. What should happen is that, you know how, like, as a kid, you can't just go to every school that you want? Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like that'd be a great start. Like, take away all the zoning rules and just make it, like, oh, if you want to go to Forest Hills or whatever, as a kid in a low-income area, you can do that. Yeah, but also we're talking about cultural things, too. So that kid's going to go to a better school but have to fight the culture. It's like, he'd be the only black kid from the hood who's in a rich school, right? So, like... But it's stuff like that has to be fought, though. You know what I mean? So we have... Exactly. So, But you can't really put that on a kid, though, at the same time. So that's where the systems come in and, like, teaching kids their identity, their value, going into their community. But then also, like, it's not just only on... So what I'm talking about the first side of it, which is, like, quote-unquote, you can say white America or quote-unquote politics or, like, the people who are in power, the wealthy, to figure out. I say that's... The part I just suggested is, like, people who get to a certain level of wealth have to create the systems where they're actually truly helping. Now, this goes back to the people who are in the communities, right? Yeah. Part two of the solution is like, well, now you got to talk about ownership. Right. You got to own your house. Right? You got to strive for better. You got to create businesses. You got to support your community. The dollars have to stay in here because they're going to come down and give you the big infrastructure that you need, but you got to run it. You got to work the system. Yeah. Instead of being part of the system. Right? So, like, you have to, it's money and vision together. And, like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get a nonprofit or, like, whatever. But, like, there's lots of way smarter people than me. But that's, I know, from a super high-level strategy needs to happen. If you want to see any needle being moved socially and then also, like, finance, too. Yeah. Like, I feel like you need both of those things coming together and actually working. Not, like, there's a story, like, this kid was broke. He was, he's a pianist. And they bought him a $500 shirt. He's not shirt, $500 suit. He's homeless, right? They pay him $50 to play. They've posted this picture of after he's done playing. He's an amazing pianist, and like for $25,000, you can support a kid like him. He'd even stay at the nonprofit. Wow. So like we have to be very careful, and watch what people really do, and like. What are we supporting just because like it looks good? Yeah. Right? And like not actually following all the way through and seeing where it's going. Right? And like the fact that when I found like $2 a day, like what? And then like you want to sleep, you gotta go to sleep by 5:30 p.m. Who sleeps at 5:30 p.m. unless you're a little baby? Yeah. Like all these things are like set up for failure, set up for homelessness, because like the money's never in the cure, it's always in like the preservation. Like no one's to figure out homelessness, right? It's not that hard to get people a house to stay in. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's all about outside of like mental and like other stuff, that's serious work you have to do and figure that out. But if someone's just, a foster kid who's kicked out at 18 with no money, no resources, like it's very hard for her to get a job.
Yeah.
Just have a cell phone.
Right. But that's when you like open up a center for people to come in and help them find jobs.
Yeah, but then it can't be so processed out where like the system is working against itself at the same time, right? That's where like the girl who's in that situation has to like take initiative and work it. Yeah. But also the people who run it have to take it and make sure that they're always making the right decision. Doesn't mean always giving someone something what somebody wants. It just means always making the right decision. And it's super hard. You need people who are devoted to it and like who actually care and not just like, oh yeah, we're getting a nonprofit. You know, like you have to really devote your life to this and you really care about helping people. Off my soapbox now, but essentially, like it's gonna take a lot.
That was a long ass answer. It's it's the right answer though.
Yeah, I think I'm getting close. I don't think it's the 100% right answer, but I think I'm getting close. Yeah. Like I believe it feels good. It feels good when I say it. But I don't know if it's like the answer. Yeah, but like
I get you.
I I'm one of those guys that seen homeless people and I'm kind of like why I don't get why you're not able to go. I was one of those guys until I had that conversation. Cause I didn't really look at it as a big issue. I'm from a foreign country. You're homeless in America? Yeah. This is milk and honey, baby boy. You can't be homeless here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But then you start realize you start seeing the system and then like and like it's easy to blame the white guy. So easy. But we're in 2019 and it's like now it's kind of like, and now what? Sam did nothing to you. Yeah. He did nothing to anybody, bro. How's it your fault for anything? But doesn't mean you don't take initiative. But also, like, for the person in this situation, like, yo, like, you also got to take initiative. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, people talk about that stuff with, unfortunately, all the people that deal with, like, depression and whatnot. Yeah. It's always, like, your situation doesn't determine who you are, right? Yeah. So, like, even if let's say, the first 18 years of your life, hypothetically, you grew up in the streets and you saw this gun violence or whatever, it's like, that doesn't mean that's you, you know? You could still be a lawyer or a doctor or own your own business, you know? So that's what I agree with what you're saying about the mentality shift. Yeah. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, like, the people that low-income areas, like, the people that you're going to grow around in those places are either kids like you or people who didn't make it out, right? Yeah. And so the people who didn't make it out are most likely blaming that on someone else.
They're pessimistic.
And they're like, well, you can't do that because, you know, the only way to make it out is rap or go to the league.
Think about the way you're raised and how hard it is for you to do something completely different when you're raised. Think about how hard it is for you.
It's true.
Think about you stopping everything you're doing right now and becoming a gangbanger right now, tomorrow. That's what you're going to start doing. That's what you're literally asking somebody from these situations to do.
Just
right?
reverse.
Yeah. You're telling somebody that's not their reality. Right?
No, that's why I'm saying it's hard. Right? But that's why I think the solution is
it's
mentally, right?
It's mentally, but also like giving these kids an identity, especially black kids. I talk to these young black kids and they think they're from the street. They think they're from Grand Rapids. I'm like, like if you knew where you were from and where you come from, you have an identity and where your people come from. There's no way you would just accept this. Yeah. And so if you knew that, if you could trace back for the Africans out there, you knew that like your greatest grandpa was a king in Africa. I really do doubt you would act the way you're acting if you're not being productive. I really doubt it. 100%.
Yeah. Like, but at the same time, what you have to understand is like you're talking to a kid, right? Yeah. So the kid probably thinks that they're gonna make it in basketball or some sort of sport or rap, you know?
Because that's what they see.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is that like you're dealing with someone who thinks that you're wrong and that they're gonna make it, you know? So that's why it's tough to talk to kids because a lot of times they don't understand the reality of things.
Well, I talk to these kids a lot. I just level with them because like they get 30 minutes of people telling them how unfortunate they are. Yeah. The whole time, and that's not what I measure when I talk to kids. Yeah. I don't tell them that they're unfortunate. So like people try to help them like, oh, I get it's bad for you, it's hard, but you know, there's things you can do, right? You can't beat on a little kid like that. And
they don't even understand that type of stuff yet.
Like what he or she is trying to say is that they love playing basketball, they like making music because it makes them escape their reality. That's what they're trying to tell you.
Straight up.
But they see LeBron James, they see Kobe, they want to be them. I'm trying to say, cool, like draw the inspiration, but you got to find what you're actually good at, right? And if I give you an identity, right? Like if I tell you who you are, right, versus then tell you what you should do, right? That's what they do. They tell you what you should do. You know what you should do? You should go do this. You can't do that if you don't know who you are, bro.
Yeah.
You know who you are. You quit your job. You start a podcast network. Mm-hmm. You know who you were, right? You're figuring yourself out. I know who I am.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. I can't tell you to go do anything that you don't want to do if you don't know who you are. If I tell you go fight a war right now, go fight, go to Sudan right now and go fight, you be like, that's not who I am. Like,
yeah.
I know.
What?
Right?
Yeah.
Instantly, like, what? So, like, that's what you can't tell people what to do. Like,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, belief-based systems versus, like, logic.
Mm-hmm.
Change somebody's belief is way harder work, nearly impossible versus than logically thinking. And I think we're throwing too much logic at situations.
At these kids. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Let's move on
That's
from
a deep convo, man.
The deepness.
Yeah. I got some more topics. Let me see what we're working with here.
See what we're working with.
ASAP Rocky. Do you have an update? I know that he's Trump got in contact allegedly. At the end of the day, you can't really believe
Kanye to Trump. So, Kim to Kanye to Trump.
Yeah, Kim made the convo to Kanye, and then he made the call to Trump, and which is the oddest friendship ever, by the way. But so allegedly, Trump says he got on the phone with I think the Prime Minister, someone up there, of Switzerland.
Yeah,
and apparently the conversation went well, and it's all good. From what I'm hearing. At least, I mean, this is Twitter, whatever. I mean, they could be completely wrong, bro. But apparently, it didn't really make anything better. and he's in the same situation he was in. So,
I say all that to say this.
All that to say this, it sounds like ASAP's at least locked up for another week or so. And we'll just get an update when we get an update. Which is crazy. For those, I'll lay it out. So for the people that don't know, basically what happened, and there's video proof of what I'm about to say. A$AP Rocky and his crew, probably like 5 to 10 dudes, were getting followed around in Switzerland, either before or after a show or something. He's on a European tour right now. They were getting followed around, and A$AP's crew was telling these two guys that were following them around to, leave them alone. They don't want any problems, any of that. And for whatever reason, these guys didn't care. And the bodyguard, was trying to like push him off. A$AP's bodyguard was trying to push him off. And the guy like took a swing at the bodyguard. So he shoved him. And he like, the fan or whatever, threw his headphones, hit the bodyguard with the headphones, something with the headphones. And so they broke. And then that led them to follow them around even more. Like, oh, you need to pay for my headphones because you broke them and all this stuff. Long story short, 10 minutes, 20 minutes later of them being followed around, they all just decide to jump these two guys and make them leave.
Yeah.
And then the police get involved. Apparently, I'm assuming there's like a no-fight policy in Switzerland or something.
Probably.
Because I don't know how you get locked up for fighting like that. But they got locked up because they swung first, basically, is what it was. Yeah. And now A$AP's in jail because he was, to be honest, defending himself. I'm like, I don't know if you feel threatened like that, but I'm sure it's annoying as shit. And you should be allowed to like beat someone up because they're following you and they won't leave you alone.
Yeah, according to
you reading something right now?
According to Twitter,
big asterisk.
Yeah, he's still locked up.
Yeah,
but new news.
Oh, I
guess someone knocked out Future security guard.
For real?
So I'm watching the video
in Switzerland.
I don't know where is that.
Let me see.
He's like someone knocked Future's. Oh. Yeah. When's it gonna stop?
Oh, then he wasn't even doing nothing either. Damn. Damn,
I don't get why they think they're so hard. They hit him from behind.
Yeah, he didn't. He was walking away from you.
Look at
this Future over there.
Yeah.
Wow. That's weird. That shit's weird.
I think people
will do anything for clout.
For clout, they got
do anything for clout. Do anything. What song is it?
Isn't that Quavo? Whatever, all that.
Yeah, clout. I think is what it's called.
Tim Duncan, breaking news.
I saw that. Yeah.
To the Spurs' assistant coach.
Shout out Tim Duncan, man.
T Duncan
wasn't far for long.
T Duncan was giving Steve Nash the works back in the day.
Yeah. Tim Duncan's on man. he's Arguably one of the best power forwards of all time, for sure.
Yeah, not the best.
For sure. Yeah. What else happened? Do you see Shaq was at Tomorrowland?
Yeah, and the mosh pit.
Yeah. Yo, can you imagine being a mosh pit with Shaq?
I'll be like,
fucking throwing you around, dog. Yeah, I'm out. That's crazy.
It's crazy to see how big he actually is.
Why is he into EDM music? That's surprising.
Yeah.
I think he just likes energy.
I think he does too.
He strikes me as someone who just likes to have a good time.
Yeah.
Because he's so funny and like free.
And it'd just be fun for him to do it too. Or maybe he like owns Tomorrowland. Who knows? Like he just pulled up.
Yeah, he probably didn't know what it was.
Like,
he was like, yeah, let me. Bro, it's so interesting to like be in a position like Shaq's, right? He doesn't need a bodyguard or a crew.
He really doesn't.
What are you gonna knock Shaq out?
You're not gonna knock Shaq out.
You're not robbing him. You're not doing nothing.
Right, punch him in the stomach.
So it's like he's in a unique situation where he could be like him.
Yeah.
You know, obviously he'll get stopped for pictures and all that, but like he can go wherever he wants alone.
But whenever he has bodyguards, are they bigger than him?
There's no way he has bodyguards. What are you gonna do?
He doesn't want by himself though. He might have some security.
He looked like he was by himself.
Yeah, he did. You know what?
He didn't.
You
Look
might
like,
be right. You might just like. Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, who are you gonna hire? You're 7'2", 300 something pounds. Like, who are you hiring?
Probably snack
yourself.
Yeah.
Dog. Yeah.
You're about right.
It's crazy. Yeah, that'd be fun, man. Being a mosh pit with Shaq.
Like Shaq can pick me up.
Yo, he's performing at Lollapalooza.
He is?
Yeah. He's got a set. He's got a set at Lollapalooza, bro.
He's rapping? He's DJing?
Yeah, he's rapping. Well, yeah, because it said Diesel, Shaq Diesel. So that's his rap name. He got me rapping. Yo, for people that don't know, y'all need to get educated. Shaq is actually nice.
He low-key is nice.
He's nice.
His voice is a little bit weird, but he has some bars.
He's a deep voice.
Yeah.
Deep voice. Yeah. He's got songs with Wu-Tang in them. Like Ghostface and them boys. Bro, he actually is nice.
He really is nice.
Yeah. Besides Master P, he's probably the best basketball rapper.
Well, what about Damian Lillard?
Oh, yeah. Damian Lillard is cold.
He is cold.
Did you keep up to date with the beef that he had with Marvin Bagley?
No, I didn't keep up with it.
They both dropped 2 tracks, like diss tracks.
Yeah, I heard the songs.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't think anything would happen. They're both athletes.
But I didn't see anything. I didn't keep up with after I saw like the.
Yeah, they actually went back and forth at each other. That shit was dope, yo.
Hard.
There's a new era of basketball.
Yeah,
we dropping diss tracks.
Oh, 100%. I feel like people are playing basketball to get rich. They're not playing basketball to do anything else.
I think it depends. Depends on the player. There is an insane amount of money in basketball right now, though.
It's stupid.
You got scrubs getting paid max contracts. Shout out to Harrison Barnes. Look, I know he got me a chip.
He got you a chip?
But he's the reason I don't have a second one. Scrub went like 0 for 16 in the last 2 games, bro. Get his whack ass.
You got to back up the games.
In the finals, we don't accept that. No,
it is what it is.
You're allowed to have 1 bad game in the finals.
You can't have 2 bad games.
You can't have 2, and they can't have them back to back. Right. You're allowed to have 1 bad game to me, and not be a scrub. But if you have 2 bad games, you're just a scrub, or you're just not built for the moment.
Pressure, you crumble under pressure.
Some players do that, man. People think Steph crumbles under pressure, but how quickly they forget. Man's cold.
Man's is cold.
He dropped 50 in the finals this year.
I think.
And we're gonna talk about he doesn't perform well under pressure.
No, he does. I think KD was low key a kryptonite in his armor. I think like he didn't get enough touch. Oh, he did, but he didn't get enough touches.
No, yeah, you're right.
Like,
I mean, we see it when KD goes down, he drops 50.
Yeah.
Or like when KD was out for like a month, Steph was having like the best month he's had in a long time.
Steph was holding himself back so KD can feel good.
He's trying to win. That's like a true champion, though.
Yeah.
You don't care about your numbers.
KD will never be a true champion to me, by the way. Put that out there. He just deserves this.
Do you think he'll win again?
Another one?
No.
Not with Kyrie. Will they give people work?
I don't think so either.
Will they give people work? Yes. Will they be a problem?
Are they going to be good?
Yes. Are they
4 months in?
No.
Because that's the thing about them. Obviously, there's going to be a year before KD's back.
You have 2 people who are not leaders.
You have 2 very mentally weak leaders.
Yeah.
Or not even leaders, just mentally weak people.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, is that going to mesh? Not a chance.
Like, both of them be making fake accounts on Twitter and
talking about their teammates to the media.
Yeah,
you know?
They're not.
Well, KD not so much, but Kyrie does that.
Kyrie's a little snake.
They're both little snakes. I love KD, man. I do. And actually, I love Kyrie. But
I like them both.
They're not leaders. You need a leader on a team.
Yeah. So what I'm really excited for is Westbrook and
the Rockets are gonna be cold.
Do
you think they got better Have we talked? I don't think we've even talked about it.
I don't think we talked. I think it happened while we did our last
Yeah,
one.
I think that sounds right. Do you think they got better or worse? For people that don't know,
instantly,
they traded. Houston traded CP3 to OKC for Westbrook.
So I was like looking at old clips of like Westbrook and like
Harden. And when they played together.
Yeah, and Harden was off the bench.
Yeah, think about that.
They messed that one up.
But they had KD and Westbrook and then Harden off the bench.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, if you think about it, though, it kind of makes sense. Because there's only one ball, right?
Yeah.
So, like, imagine...
And Harden wanted the ball.
Imagine, obviously...
He needed the ball.
Yeah. So like, the work that Harden's putting in on these starters, imagine if he was going against bench players.
Exactly.
He'd be averaging 40 a game.
Yeah, easy.
You know? So, it kind of makes sense to have him as a sixth guy. But they do have good chemistry together.
This is going to be funny to watch.
Did have good chemistry.
This is going to be funny to watch. I think Westbrook has a big chip on his shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Big.
Yeah. Because everyone thinks right now he'll never be a champion.
Big. I think Harden has
and
a big...
the same thing for Harden. Yeah.
Big chip on their shoulder. Yeah. And, like, I think they might pull out and beat the Lakers and beat the Warriors and whoever's...
You think they're better than the Clippers?
No, I don't think they're better. But I think that the chip is...
You think they'll beat them, though?
Yeah, I think Kawhi's going to take an easy year.
Whoa.
To be honest. We'll see.
Yeah, I think in the West, I got...
He got off injury, whatever, won a chip. You know, like basketball stuff starting soon. I think he's gonna be.
I think I got the Clippers going through the West.
You think they're winning it? They win the first year?
No.
Who's
in my opinion, the Bucks are gonna win, and it's for this reason. I talked about this on the Hoops and the Whip podcast. Shout out that podcast. Go check out my episode number 22. I think I was over there. Did you know I went over there?
No.
I don't even think we talked about it.
You didn't talk about it. Dope.
Yeah, it was dope.
Shout out to GB.
Yeah. I wanted both of us to go on, but they didn't have enough room because it's a car, obviously.
Oh.
Anyway, what I said on there was that I think Milwaukee is, in my opinion, the contender because I look at everything that's happened in the past month or whatever.
Yeah.
And every team is different, right?
They're all different. Except
for the Bucks, who lost one. They lost Malcolm Brogdon, who's an amazing player. He's an all-star. But that's it. And they've added a few pieces. Like, they just added Kyle Korver the other day and a few other pieces, right? So they have, in my opinion, the most chemistry out of any other team in the league right now. And I think chemistry plays a big key especially when you get to the playoffs, right?
I think so too.
And now Giannis is 25, I think he'll be. So he's 1 year older, 1 year better. And in my opinion, I think they're the team to beat, right?
Yeah.
Because they're going up against teams that have never played against each other or played with each other.
Yeah.
Right?
It'd be fun to watch because he's a good leader.
Giannis?
Yeah. Just like his position, I think he'll have to take a sidestep and let somebody else run so he can be more just from watching games.
Because he has to naturally, especially in the playoffs because he gets double teamed.
Yeah, so we need
So he has to kick. But that's why like a piece like Kyle Korver, and first of all, that team's loaded with shooters. So they can just kick it to whoever.
But people are going to double team him and try to steal it. He's a big guy. He doesn't have the best handles.
I mean, you saw like in the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
He didn't do overly well, especially against Toronto.
You know, so
they got broomed.
So it's kind of like they need some pieces. And they need somebody. They need him to play his position.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like a team, like if they go against a team like the Clippers, they just added 2 new All Stars. They don't have that much chemistry. I mean, we see it with like the Heat team back in the day. That was like the best roster.
Yeah,
but they just didn't have chemistry yet, right?
Yeah,
and I think that's going to be a situation that happens this year. I think, in my opinion, I think the Clippers are going to make it, but they're just going to lose to the better, more united team. Yeah, you know.
I think LeBron has a chip.
Yeah, I think it's this year or next year for LeBron if he wants to win in LA.
I truly believe this is the only year he can win.
Really? You don't even think next year's a possibility?
It might be, but they need. And this is the best year. Everyone's like weak right now.
Yeah.
Not really, but really.
Yeah, I mean you're right. I mean it goes back to what I'm saying. Like all the teams are different.
So it's like, if LeBron wants an easy chip, he has one this year. If he does it, he's gonna be up.
Easier chip.
Easier, right?
Not easy.
Easier
chip.
He has to. Because next year's gonna be scary.
Yeah, because then all these teams are gonna have chemistry.
You're talking about the following season after
21 and 22.
21, 22?
22, yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a scary.
Yeah, because everyone's got chemistry now.
No one's gonna trade anybody, by the way.
Probably.
The team's gonna be built with pieces, and it's gonna be ball.
And KD's gonna be back, and Clay's gonna be back.
It's
like you're dealing with fully loaded rosters at this point.
It's not gonna be as easy if you win a chip.
Yeah,
it's very very hard.
You're right.
And games are gonna be hard. Like every game's gonna be a game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not every game, but most games are gonna be a game.
Yeah, like, that's what excites me, dude. I think we're coming up on one of the best seasons ever.
Yeah,
because, I mean, it goes back to like what we're talking about right now. Like, no one's really sure who's gonna win. So like everyone's gonna play their ass off, like especially the first 40 games. We gotta see him play. You're gonna see like real. It's gonna.
I know Steph's gonna come hard.
Oh yeah, he's gonna carry the team. I mean, he's got D'Angelo Russell over there. But
yeah, Steph has something to prove.
He's gonna ball.
If Steph wins another chip, he'll be considered
best point guard,
probably of all time.
If he gets one more.
If he gets one more by himself, technically, I mean, he was gonna have help. But it doesn't be
like without KD or someone like that.
Without KD, without Clay, you'll have Russell.
Oh yeah, bro. If he gets one without Clay, no question.
I'm just saying, like,
but
it'll be Steph's league.
I think the chances of that happening is very slim.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
the chances of
that further
Kawhi actually winning a chip was very slim. It was like I watched it because no one was saying Raptors. But none like Kawhi. Nah. Like, oh, bro, they might win a chip. To like,
everyone was saying Boston.
Yeah,
I think that was probably it. Boston, Milwaukee.
I think most fans want to see LeBron winning another chip, though. I think the people want to see LeBron win a chip. I think it'd be good for the league.
I said this before the season started, his first season in LA.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if he wins a chip in LA, he's the best ever. The best ever.
Really?
Yeah. And for the people, he's, in my opinion, the second best ever right now. I think if he wins in LA, because that'll be the second time he went to
a different team.
The third time, actually, he went to a team that didn't make the playoffs the year prior.
Yeah.
And then won a chip. Right? You know, you can put an asterisk on Miami because he teamed up with superstars. That's fine. But still, in Cleveland, he went to a team that was ass. Won a chip. And now he was on the Lakers, who they weren't ass, but they weren't good.
They weren't good.
And if he wins a chip, in my opinion, he's the GOAT.
And also both times, if he wins this year with not really scrubs, but not with like a lot of people like helping him.
Yeah, it's basically him, AD, and Kuzma.
Yeah,
and then everyone else is just role players.
What's the one with that? Forget his last name. I don't think they won though, but I think they almost won. And I remember talking to someone was crap about Steph Curry. Like, you couldn't beat LeBron and a whole bunch of scrubs. Remember everyone was hurt and they were like in the finals.
Oh yeah, like the first year round.
Was that the first round?
Yeah, the first year round when everyone was hurt. Yeah.
After I saw that,
it was like a 6-game series.
For me, that's how I realized LeBron was the GOAT because it's like he's not a shooter.
Yeah,
he's averaging 50 points, something assists. Like, listen, like, and he's big.
35, 10, and 10.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, he got cramps. It's like, bro, yes,
you would too.
40 minutes a game.
Yeah,
every game. And
then also, the coming back 3-1 on my opinion, the best team of all time.
Yeah, legendary.
Literally, I mean, and that's coming from me. Like, I'm a Warriors fan. Yeah, that shit stings, yo. We were up 3-1. Do you know what that means?
That's so good for me.
3-1. You had to win one game, dog.
That proves his legacy.
Yeah.
But
that's it.
After watching this league, I became a Steph fan watching this year because I was like,
don't sleep on the bad boy.
You know what? Like, Steph is somebody who is not getting the love that he deserves.
Yeah, I feel like he got the love so quick. Like, everyone fell in love with Steph, right? Yeah. And then I guess probably KD ruined it.
Him being unselfish.
Yeah. And I guess people just hate on good people for real. Like, he's such a good guy. Everyone's positive. Like, everyone's like.
So is LeBron. You don't hit that. You want to know what Jared Smith is up to right now.
When you right, you right. Everyone wants to know what Westbrook's talking about. Exactly. No one wants to know what
LeBron's doing. Building schools. We don't hear that.
Yeah. I want to know about the rap battles between Damian and Marvin.
Yeah, what did the Pusha send you? What did Drake send you?
Yeah. That's true. It's like human nature. We just love drama.
Yeah.
Which is a sad thing. It's true, though.
Netflix, HBO, drama.
We know drama. TNT.
Should we wrap it?
Yeah. Let's do it.
This is episode 8 of the...
Episode 8. 2 months.
2 months.
2 months. Appreciate the love. We're talking before this. We do have some good guest ideas.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to make them happen. If we DM you, hit us back.
Or if you're listening to this, and you have any guest suggestions.
Or
you would like to be a guest, comment under Sam's Instagram, my Instagram,
YouTube,
especially
whatever.
The Takeaway, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah, if you have guest ideas, whatever, let's hear it.
Let's do it.
Also, if you got some clothes you want us to rock, you know what I'm saying? I wear size medium.
I wear size large.
We won't talk about that though. But throw us that clothing sponsor, yo.
Yeah,
we'll give you some shouts. We'll give you shouts. But, all right.
Stay
Peace out.